What's going on, everybody? Shonen Express here, coming to you with another weekly Shonen Jump newsletter. So, let's just get right into it. This week, the cover was One Piece, and One Piece was finally back from break. Definitely deserved the cover. I don't want to talk too much about it right now, because we're going to get into it later, because it was one of my top three. But for now, what I'll say about the cover is, it looks like the cover illustration gave us the first colored-in official colors for Yamato, and so that was kind of cool. It was cool to see she got kind of like Senku hair, where at the end it turns green, but it's mostly white. I liked her design. I liked the color scheme. I thought it was interesting, and I thought it was cool. It was different than what I was expecting, though. I'll tell you that for sure, but I did like it. I love that One Piece got the cover, and oh boy did it deserve the cover this week. But like I said, we'll get into that a little later. There was nothing new in the magazine. No new manga started. Kind of went to plan. There was nothing ended this week. There wasn't, any shocking ends. There are a couple that I'm a little worried about getting close to ending, but that's okay. But nothing ended this week. And there was nothing on break this week. We had a full weekly Shonen Jump. Everything running came out this week, just the way that it should be. So there's no breaks. It was a pretty standard week that way. There was also no specials, no one-shots, nothing like that. Obviously, with the magazine, being full of, the normal running manga, there's, no reason to put a one-shot in. But that was, so yeah, it was a pretty normal week this week for Weekly Shonen Jump. But that will quickly get us to my top and bottom picks for this week. And so we'll start with the top, as we always do. Coming in at number 3 this week, filling the comedy section, is Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin. This was a hard decision for me to make. First of all, deciding these top 3 was nearly impossible. This week was phenomenal for almost everything in the magazine. That being said, I think that in the, out of the comedy section, Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin got the number 1 spot for me. So it was my number 3 overall. But what I liked about this chapter is we started into some kind of more mystery and crime detective kind of arc here. I don't know that we'll actually carry this out for that many chapters, but either way, I like this feel. I like the crime detective kind of feel for this manga. I really think it suits this manga, and I also think it suits the mangaka's style. I mean, this mangaka also did Beelzebub, and I think that this kind of crime detective thing with, a little bit of action will really fit in with the style of this mangaka. So I'm excited to see where we go forward. But yeah, it got my number 3. Number 2 this week, filling the extra spot, is Jujutsu Kaisen. I would be, it wouldn't be right for me not to put Jujutsu Kaisen up here. Again, as I said, this week was so good. Everything was so good. So it was really hard to pick what was at the top, but I think Jujutsu Kaisen is my second for sure. And the reason why I think that is because we got a little bit with Nobara or Kugisaki, or whichever name you want to use. We got a little bit more with her. And then pretty much confirmed her death. I mean, this was insane. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought that she was going to get revived, but it doesn't look like she will. And the fight then with Mahito against Yuji was really cool. That was some really awesome fighting. Mahito being a really cool villain was great to see. And then, coming in at the end, is my boy Todo. Todo is so cool, and he comes in at the end, uses his curse technique to switch places. It was so dope. If you're not reading Jujutsu Kaisen or watching Jujutsu Kaisen, get on this. This is really, really good. It definitely, this chapter was an amazing Jujutsu Kaisen chapter, and I couldn't put it anywhere but second this week. Which brings us to the number 1 chapter this week, which I'm sure is no surprise. Coming back after 2 weeks on break, One Piece was the undisputed king this week. In a week where there were phenomenal chapters all around, One Piece took the cake. This was an amazing One Piece chapter, all the way from the beginning where we got that conversation with Big Mom, Parasparrow, and Marco. First of all, anytime Marco's on the page, I lose my mind. I love Marco. I love seeing it. Doesn't matter what he's doing. I love seeing him. And so we got to see Marco again. I love that. I was super into that and super excited that was happening. I loved his little quote about, we're free to do what we want now. We're not, bound to Whitebeard's will. I really liked that. I thought it was cool. And my favorite character in the whole series is Whitebeard. So, the Whitebeard pirates are really, really high for me. I like them. But, we got the stuff with Carrot trying to chase down Parasparrow there a little bit. But then this fight, the fight of the Scabbards versus Kaido was incredible. I mean, everybody got a moment to shine, Everybody got their licks in, and it was awesome. And then that final panel where the four of them, it's so perfect to pick these four, right? I would say that these four are maybe the strongest four. Neko Mamushi could probably be in here, but these four, Inuarashi, Kinemon, Denjiro, and Ashura Doji, these are the four strongest Scabbards, and they're using Odin's technique, and they slice Kaido up. It was amazing. Also, shout out to Raizo. Did not think he was going to be that strong, but there he was, bringing the heat with that scroll. That was so cool. One Piece was number one this week. Oh my word, it was amazing. If you haven't read One Piece, or watched One Piece for that matter, I know it's long, but it's so worth it. Get on it. Yeah, so that's my top three. So let's get to the bottom three then. So at number 3, right, is Our Blood Oath. Again, I think everything in the magazine was good this week, including my bottom 3. I still think these were okay, generally good chapters. But Our Blood Oath comes in at number 3 at the bottom. Just, there wasn't, it's kind of taken a more generic route than I maybe want it to, and I'm not quite into the characters as much as I want to be, because it is about vampires, and I do think vampires are really cool. But, this chapter just wasn't the coolest thing ever, and I think it should have been, because it was a really big climactic one. So that's why we end up here for sure. Then number 2 this week is Ayakashi Triangle. This should be no surprise. Ayakashi Triangle is probably going to be on the bottom for a long time. But why it's my number 2 least favorite is actually nothing in the series. It was just kind of boring. It was cool that oh my word, Sonata? The girl. And I'm forgetting her name now. But it's cool that the main girl, that's going to bug me, but got kidnapped by this icon that's like kind of transformed. So that's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. But also really similar to Phantom Seer, that also got kidnapped. Anyway, I don't know. It was good. It was not the best. So let's move on to Agravity Boys, which is my number 1 least favorite this week. And again, even this wasn't terrible. It was good. It was just not the best. It was totally fourth wall breaking. It was like an extra chapter. Like, it had nothing to do with the actual plot. They were doing like this radio show to commemorate the them getting the center color spread page, and so that's, it was fine, but it wasn't very interesting, and it wasn't very funny. So that's why it ends up on the bottom this week. But I cannot live with myself unless I just briefly mention some of the other standout manga this week. Black Clover was amazing. If you're a Black Clover fan, this will be an amazing chapter for you. We're learning about Asta's Devil, and that is just incredible. So, Black Clover was incredible, just didn't beat out One Piece or Jujutsu Kaisen. My Hero Academia, incredible, just didn't beat out Jujutsu Kaisen or One Piece. This week in My Hero Academia, we got some more with Toga and Ochako, and it was pretty good, but it didn't beat out any of the other ones. Mission Yozakura Family. Incredible. incredible. Like, we're back to the plot. We're finally meeting the dad. I feel hot and cold for Mission Yozakura Family, but I'm really excited when the plot does develop, and this was one of those chapters. It was really good. It just didn't make the list. Chainsaw Man, really, really good. It just didn't make the list. I love seeing the conflicting nature in Chainsaw Man. It was really good. Just didn't make the list. Magu-Chan God of Destruction was so close to beating Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin out this week. And the only reason it didn't is because I really liked the direction that Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin was going in. But Magu-Chan was so sweet. It was so, like, heartfelt and amazing. I really like this manga. It really gives me good feels every single week. Magu-Chan's really good. If you haven't read it, it's so short. It's not that many chapters. Just go read it. It's really good. And me and Roboco as well. I laughed out loud several times for me and Roboco this week. This could have won the comedy spot. Could have been number 3 on my list this week. But it just, again, Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin, the direction it's going in is really interesting, and so I wanted to highlight that this week. But I couldn't live with myself if I didn't say anything about me and Roboco. So yeah. As far as other news, I really don't have anything for you guys this week. This was kind of a standard week of Weekly Shonen Jump. But thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of video. I bring these to you every week as Weekly Shonen Jump comes out. And, like this video. If you liked anything I had to say, leave a comment in the comment section. I'd love to talk with you about this stuff. And yeah, I will be back next week with another Weekly Shonen Jump newsletter, and hopefully I'll get another video out in the meantime. I'm working on another Jujutsu Kaisen related video right now, so hopefully I'll get that out as well in the meantime. But thank you so much for watching. But for now, this is Shonen Express signing off.